Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'll be talking about some of the quiet luxury bags that I have been loving. So if you're interested, do keep on watching. For those of you who are new here, my name is Amelia and I do videos on luxury and lifestyle. So if you enjoy this kind of videos, do consider subscribing, click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. So in the last video, I did talk about the whole quiet luxury movement that's going on right now and how I personally feel about it. So if you have not watched that video, I'm going to link it up over here. But today we are going to discuss some of the quiet luxury bags that are in the market. Maybe some of them you have not seen or heard of them before. So I thought it would be interesting to go through them. I'll be running through some of the brands that I previously spoke about in the other video. So the very first brand is The Row. So like I said, The Row is considered one of the top tier quiet luxury brands out there. They are started out by the Olsen twins and they are getting increasingly popular. A lot of the celebrities are seen carrying their bags and I actually think that their bags are really cool. So we'll talk about the ones that I personally think that it's worth mentioning. So the first one being the Half Moon leather shoulder bag. This bag is so adorable and I think its style is very classic. It has this shoulder bag thing that is very 90s altogether. It comes in a lot of leather types and I really like it. I think it's very functional as a shoulder bag. So in terms of price point wise, I think it's still really decent and I think it's a bag worth checking out. It's just like your typical 90s shoulder bag, and if you want something that is in full leather, this is something that you can consider. The next bag is actually the Park medium leather tote. Essentially it looks very much like the Celine Soul Sango that I have. I think I left the bag outside, but it's very much like bucket bag kind of style but in leather, and apparently a lot of the Japanese YouTubers, oh it's right in front of me, I'm so blind. It looks very similar to the Celine Soul Sango. It has a top handle here and it's very much like a bucket style bag. A lot of the Japanese YouTubers really like bags from The Row and they talk about it all the time. I don't really watch a lot of their videos, but I know that they talk about The Row bags a lot. I think it's very cute and it comes in like I think 2 sizes or 3 sizes. I think something worth checking out as well. Price point wise is still really good for a leather bag. So yes, the other bag will be the poly leather tote. I think this bag kind of reminds me of like the Loewe flamenco bag in terms of the shape and structure, but this one has a top handle. So for the smaller flamenco bags, they don't come with the top handle. Only the larger one comes with the top handle, but this one comes with the top handle. You can cinch it at the side as well, and yeah, it reminds me of the flamenco tote, and I think this bag is also very cute for The Row. However, I would say in terms of price point wise, this is quite expensive as compared to the other 2 bags that I just mentioned, so something to take note. But yeah, it's a really cute bag as well. So moving on, I'm going to talk about bags from Khaite. Khaite is very well known for their off-shoulder knitwear. There's like very funky what do you call that, neckline. I do have some similar knits from ASOS because they're just much cheaper, but Khaite is predominantly known for these knits. I think they became really popular after they came out with those knit tops, but they do have bags as well. So the first bag I want to talk about is actually the Olivia medium leather tote. This bag is very reminiscent to the Bottega small Jodie bag in terms of shape, structure, sizing, everything. It comes in the same zipper as well in the middle of it. This bag also comes in raffia, it comes in patent, it comes in crystals. So they really come up with a lot of different patterns for this bag. I believe Bottega, in terms of like the small Jodie, I don't think they ever did raffia, they never did patent, they definitely never did crystals on the bag, or if they did, I didn't see them. So mainly Bottega is more like full leather or like weaving. Did they do even full leather? I don't even think they did full leather. It's just all in their Bottega weave leather. So if you want something plain, this is the bag to go for because it's very similar to the Bottega one. So this is the Olivia medium leather hobo tote. There's also a mini lotus drawstring bag. This bag kind of reminds me of the Yuzefi bag that you have in terms of like sizing. I don't think I'll ever go for this bag because I'm not sure if the straps will irritate me and like move all around. But the one that comes with the lozenge crystals, the crisscross one, is so pretty. I'm going to put a photo up over here. Yeah, I think this bag is worth the crystal price as well. It's not too bad. There is also the medium Amelia tote. Obviously I'm biased towards this bag because it has my name in it. But this bag is really nice as well. It's top handle, rectangularly. I believe it fits A4 size if I'm not wrong. It used to come with just leather, and then now they introduced raffia. It's part leather, part raffia. I think leather on the top and then raffia at the bottom. I think it's very cute, but it's just predominantly a handheld bag, so just something to take note of. Yeah, I think it's nice. Something definitely worth considering, although the price point wise is a little bit more expensive, maybe because it's gotten popular in the quiet luxury space, so I'm not sure. And then there is also the army clutch, which is this clutch with a clasp at the top. The stamping, the word that says khaite, is very minimal, and I think that this one makes a very good evening bag. So it comes in leather, it comes in hair cuff, it even comes in suede, so you have a lot of materials to choose from there that is very evening appropriate. Because I think this bag, if I'm not wrong, only comes in black. Maybe there's one other color for leather, but they are mainly in black. And then moving on into Totem. So Totem, there is one very significant bag that everyone knows about, which is the Totem T-lock bag. So this bag has gotten a lot of traction. It has this like clasp at the top. It's very similar to a very slouchy like bag. I would say the nearest bag that I have to that is like the Loewe Puzzle. It slouches at the middle and then it has a top handle. Very cute. The T-buckle works very, what do you call that? No, not insignificant. The T-buckle is very minimalistic and it has this like turn lock clasp. It's very cute, and I think this bag, I really like it. Price point wise, it's very good as well. It's definitely a bag that I will consider. And then we also have Acne. Acne, I really like the Musubi bag. I have been eyeing it for a while. They now come in like mini sizes, and like, if I'm not wrong, it now comes in like a nano micro size. It used to come in the mini and then a size larger than that, so I'm only interested in the mini size. Very cute bag, and I think price point wise is very good as well. The Acne leather is always so smooth and so nice to touch. There is a new Acne store in MBS now, so I managed to see it in person rather than just admiring it afar. Actually, I think a lot of people know about this bag because I do see it on the streets. It's just that people don't really talk about it online much, so that's why. There's also Laurel Piano located at MBS. I just happened to stumble upon it because it's just right beside Loewe that I usually visit, and then one day I saw in the window there is this really cute bag. It looks exactly like what do you call it? It looks exactly like the Longchamp small little bag that I have, but in ostrich. So I got really curious. I went in to ask about it, and then I suddenly got shocked by the price point. It was so expensive for, but I mean, I think in terms of like ostrich pricing, it's not too bad, but it's still really expensive. So definitely quiet luxury there. I believe the pouch is called L19 and it actually comes with a strap. So the one that comes from
what are you doing?
So the same little pouch that comes from Longchamp doesn't have a strap, but I've seen a lot of people do like this hack where they'll go and like stamp like holes at the side and then create their own strap, which I think one day when I'm free, I will look into it for sure. Then I can make it like a crossbody bag as well. So yes, the L19 bag comes in like ostrich. Quite expensive for what it is. There is also this micro sachet bag, which is like a top handle carry bag. I think this bag is very cute, but will I pay that kind of pricing for it? Maybe not. I'm not really very interested in the Laurel Piano pricing, to be very honest with you. There is this other summer shopper bag. This bag I thought was very interesting. It's like very what do you call it, origami-y. It's a shopper bag. Essentially it looks like a beach bag. It can be used as a beach bag or like grocery bag or something like that, and then you can fold it all the way down, like origami it all the way down, and then like it's just easy to pack. So I thought this bag was very interesting. It kind of reminds me of like the Loewe puzzle bag, whereby the whole concept is that you are able to flatten the bag down so that you can travel very easily with the bag. So that's that. And then moving on to Ferragamo. Ferragamo has been making a huge comeback, as we all know, and the most talked about bag from Ferragamo now is the Wonder Mini bag. I believe a lot of the YouTubers are getting in on it right now. Cassie Top has one. It's so cute. It's like the orange one, and then there are many like neutral like base colors as well for this bag. I personally find it a little bit small, but if you want like a small bag that it can top handle carry it, I think it's quite cute. And then there is also the East-West version, so it comes in a more squarish version and as well as the East-West version, so two versions that you can go for. So that's Ferragamo. So in the previous video, I was mentioning that some of these brands, obviously you have not heard about it for quiet luxury, but some of the other popular brands like Bottega, Saint Laurent, Celine, and even Hermes, they are actually considered as quiet luxury, and they do have some quiet luxury bags as well. So for Bottega, I would consider the Acro leather small tote as quite like low-key minimalistic. I personally will consider it as a quiet luxury bag, especially like the Bottega pouches. I would also think that they are considered as quiet luxury simply because they don't have a lot of logo like splash out on front, and the stamping is just very small and tiny. I'm not sure if this bag is new, but they have the small hobo knot bag as well. It has a very simple clean design, very looks like a Prada bag without the Prada triangle logo, you know. So, and I'm sure the leather is top-notch quality, so this bag I would say is also considered as like a quiet luxury bag in my opinion. And then for Saint Laurent, I would say that most of the YSL bags, unlike their ready-to-wear actually, which is very strange, most of the YSL bags have the YSL logo on it. I was gonna say it's very ironic because most of their ready-to-wear has no logo anywhere. The only piece of YSL ready-to-wear that I've seen that has the YSL all over it is that furry coat, the big coat that has the sparkly YSL at the back of it. I think that was one of the rare few times that YSL actually incorporated their logo into their ready-to-wear, which is very interesting to know actually. So coming around to their bags, a lot of their bags do have the logo, but they do have some bags that do not have very like flashy logos on it. One being the Manhattan bag, which is like this Manhattan bag embellished leather clutch. I think for this bag, obviously there's no logo, but the design is still very low-key and not very popular and well-known right now. So unless you know that it is a YSL bag, you will never know that this is from Saint Laurent, in my opinion. Unless it becomes more popular in future. There's no particular logo on it, but the clasp in front is very new, I would say, to the whole Saint Laurent branding. Like I've seen it around, but not so much because people still tend to prefer the YSL logo as the clasp in front. So I would say that this is still considered quite understated. There is nowhere that actually says Saint Laurent. Maybe there's a stamping somewhere, but it's not very significant. So I actually really like this clutch. I think price point wise is not too bad, and it comes in a lot of like different leather types, so I think that's great. There's also the Le Care satchel bag, I think it's called, in the box Saint Laurent leather. So this bag is a typical satchel kind of design, and I think it's very low-key, very minimal, so not very akin to what YSL is like in terms of the logo front. I think it's quite cute too. It's just that it's not very popular. Not a lot of people do talk about it. The one that has been popping up on my social media feeds quite a lot recently is actually the Les Melons. It's also a satchel type kind of bag, like, you know, like slightly long rectangularly. What's significant about it is the little clasp in front. So I feel like if you don't recognize that this is a YSL bag, you wouldn't know, because it's a relatively new design. I believe there is also the one that is like wallet on chain. It comes in like this quilted puffy look, if I'm not wrong, in black. It has been popping up on my feed a lot. I'm not sure why. So it's pretty minimalistic. I think what YSL is trying to do is to push that clasp design out to people so that people can associate it with YSL, but still staying very minimal and like quite luxury, you know. And then obviously we have to talk about Celine. Celine in the Phoebe Philo era, it's very minimalistic, very clean design, and I'm very excited to see what she has lined up for her new brand, which I'm sure a lot of people are just waiting for it. So the most popular talked about Celine bag back then is the classic bag. It's called the classic, but everyone calls it the box leather bag, but actually the leather is in box. The bag is called classic. This bag is so uniquely Celine. Like if you look at it, because it has been around for many years, you will actually know that it's a Celine bag in terms of like how the buckle works and the shape and all that. Very true blue Celine bag. And then recently when the new creative director took over, they used the Triomphe logo and just attached it to the front, and then now it's just called the Triomphe bag. Instead of the classic bag, they call it the Triomphe bag. But I really think that the old design, which is the one that is just like a little clasp, is very classic. That's why, maybe that's why they call it classic bag. I'm not sure. I have no idea who coined it. Whoever came up with the name classic bag is really forward looking, I would say. So she came up with a lot of designs, another of which being the belt bag, which is still around. A lot of her designs got discontinued, but the belt bag I believe is still around. So recently when I went into store, they actually told me that they were going to discontinue not the belt bag in general, but the Celine Pico belt bag. So the very small one that I was eyeing myself, so I'm deciding whether I want to get it or not. They are going to discontinue this small little bag, and I did ask why. They say that there's a lot of mini bags going around and there's like just a saturation of them, and Celine themselves actually want to come up with newer designs, so I think that's why they are discontinuing the Pico bag. So if you are thinking of getting one, you should get your hands on one before the end of the month. Just saying. Which I believe by the time this video goes out is in a few days, so you have a few days to think about it. And then last but not least, we want to discuss about Hermès being like quiet luxury. I think I mentioned in my previous video that I believe Hermès is technically quiet luxury. They don't have logos screaming out at the front, but because of social media, it's become very saturated. People actually can recognize the bag. It could be a good or bad thing, I guess. People actually do recognize the bag, but actually Hermès do have a lot of other bags apart from the Birkin and the Kelly and the Lindy. Maybe there's a lot other designs like the Jypsiere bag, like the Roulis bag. I think those designs are also pretty nice. It's just that it's not as popular as the most coveted Birkin and Kelly, obviously, so people don't really talk about them, but if you know, you know. So for Hermès, I feel like the Kelly clasp is very uniquely Hermès. Like if you see the clasp, you can actually pinpoint that this bag is definitely from Hermès. What else is significant about their bag designs, I believe, is the little buckles that you put the sangles in. Not a lot of fashion houses out there actually do this sangle design, so it's also quite uniquely Hermès, I would say. I mean, everyone is coveting after Birkin and Kelly these days, so I don't really typically think they're quite so much quiet luxury anymore, but in essence they are. It's just that they're not so quiet because everyone on social media talks about it. You see it all the time, you see it everywhere. Everyone, especially in Singapore, like a lot of people do own Birkins and Kellys here. Like you see them on the streets all the time, so it's not very uncommon, I would say. So I've come to the end of the video. I hope you got to discover some new bag or new bag brands out there. So if you enjoyed this video, do remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!